Welcome to the Grip Kings Arm Wrestling channel. My name is Owen, and today we are joined by one of the world's most respected minds in our sport, a coach, competitor, and co-host of the long-running Voice of Arm Wrestling channel. With nearly 2 decades of experience and deep roots in the Latvian scene, he is the blacksmith behind the blades, sharpening champions from raw steel, a multinational champion, and the architect behind the Arm Wrestling Academy, the coach behind champions, the voice of reason at the table. This is Coach Ray. Welcome.
Well, that was an introduction. I don't know what you're
Exactly.
auditioning for, but you got it. You just got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
I got it.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thanks for
How are
having me.
you?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You're welcome. How are you? You took some trophies home?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just from training, gonna eat a little bit later. Everything's good. We had finally nice weather, not so cold, so.
Not so cool. Yeah. All right. So the questions I want to ask you today, I'll sketch them out real quick. So we got something about your training program. I want to ask some stuff about you as a coach. Social media impact, how you handle that, and how you've structured that, and something about your career and competition. So this is what we're going to talk about today. I'm curious about your coaching philosophy and training program. Obviously, hence the introduction. You created the Academy, Arm Wrestling Academy online. What led you to create this course online? How did you discover, like, hey, there's a real request for this? There's a real need for this.
Thing is, like, I think the very easy and kind of summarize everything is there's so much information out there, and people they can kind of learn one thing from one person, then they go to another person, and those philosophies most of the time don't align. So the guys from Titan Grip came up with this idea, and they're like, how about we do a course together? And then we filmed it for a week. I prepared for a few months, and it kind of lays down a lot of things together, answering the most asked question, because I think it's just too much, especially for beginners. And the whole plan it is for beginners. It's not for advanced arm wrestlers, but it's for beginners. And when a beginner starts, they kind of have this mindset where they're going to look at the biggest champion, and they're like, oh, so I just have to copy whatever they are doing right now. Like right now. Don't care about those 20, 25, 30, 40 years of what they were doing before, right now, because that's the right thing to do. And I have coached so many people that we know you start with the basics, you build fundamentals, you learn how to arm wrestle, and then you build on it. And that's kind of main thing throughout Arm Wrestling Academy. There's multiple training systems, like training programs. One is no extra equipment needed at all. All the things you can just do in a regular gym, then a little bit of equipment. And then when you have arm wrestling table and pulley system, it's kind of more advanced, and you kind of progress through it. The problem that I see most of the time people encounter is they will do they will do the workout once, or the whole course, like let's say the whole cycle of training once for every program, and then they're like, what's next? I'm like, how about you redo it? You redo it. You redo it. You talk to almost every athlete, they will have their training methods that they use for years, and that's how you build. Like you build, you compound, and that's how you get better. I'm kind of experimental guy, so I have experimented multiple times with many different training systems, philosophies, and things like this. Most of the time I go back to the one that we use from beginning. It's like what we call Latvian method. It's highly inspired, but like how Janis trains, but then modified from that a little bit differently. And then it just from there, like I have now met multiple people like Todd Hutchings, and then Mindaugas Tarasaitis with completely different training philosophies. Like Todd Hutchings is really close to what we do. We just do more I would think general stuff. He has very super specialization, like it's super specific for him. We have more general things in it. And then there's Mindaugas that does, like I call Zen or Tai Chi arm wrestling. It's more, and I think it's also great. And then you talk with Devon, and then you talk with Michael Todd and whoever, and everyone, because they're different things. And it's most importantly figure out, like, is this working because he's just special, or is this working because the system is good?
On the fundamental basis. Yeah.
And then what I see most of the time, like I said, like beginner comes into sport, they see the biggest champion, they try to, whatever they're doing, they try to just do that. Then they will see some young champion that is really good, and then they think, like, whatever he's doing must be the thing that I have to do. And my advice is always look at people around any great champions. If the team is great, the system works. If the team is not great, it's the individual. And we see in arm wrestling, it is very much not genetic. I would say it's more talent based. Some people are just like, whatever is the talent. Like we have seen this also between our athletes. Some people can just push harder. I also think that's a talent. Like they can push really hard when needed to. Like my best from Latvia is like Sandris and Kristaps. They can push. Like when they need to win, they will win. Then there's guys that will just recover super quickly. Vlad is one of those guys, right? Then Giannis is a guy that's very consistent. Toms is very consistent. I'm very consistent. We just all we just keep on doing it, right? Like there's multiple guys like that we just keep on doing it. And that's where the young guys missing it. They start, they finish something, and they expect huge results. But sometimes the results will come, but you need a little bit of time. You just need to, kind of get used to it. And then the whole part about training, where it's all gym and specific, that's where I think it's not that the opinions differ, it's just understanding changes. So you talk with Mindaugas, right? And Mindaugas, he doesn't go to gym. He has his own gym, but he will do his, what some would think weird stuff, kind of, I would say very light training, light tendon loading based training. That's what he does. I grew up in a gym where I was powerlifting based. So my part of training has to include something like that because it makes me happy. It makes me feel good, right? Whatever is that, there's people like Devon, doesn't go to gym, but loves to arm wrestle and has a chance to arm wrestle almost every single day. You put him in different environment, and you say you have to go to the gym, he won't be as good because he just doesn't enjoy it. So I think first
the
of
heart
all,
is not in it.
yeah, you first figure out through which outlet you're gonna achieve your arm wrestling success. Is it going to the gym? Then go to the gym. Is it pulling more on table? Pull more on table. And then whoever is telling you this is the only thing or this is the special thing, the most of the time just that's how they feel. I think it's bullshit.
How they feel.
But that's just how they feel. And I think you do have to feel like, I go to gym and I like to lift heavy or whatever because it makes me feel good. So I will not take that away from me, right? Would my training would be better if I would do more like just pulling like Devon or some, maybe, but I wouldn't enjoy it as much. So I think that's those are the parts that people are missing. And the biggest part is pulling. They go straight to the lifting. They go straight to lifting weights and see whatever lift is trending right now. They're trying to do PRs without building good foundation, good conditioning. They either got injured, then they get false sense of, because they lift something like it wouldn't be hard to replicate what I can lift if you just if you're a pretty good decent guy. It'd be very hard to replicate what I do on table. And the strength difference would be crazy because I can go to competition here and most of the guys, I know there's some guys that lift heavier than me on some exercises. I can handle them easily. And then there's guys that lift less than me and I have to struggle, beating them. So arm wrestling is a special thing where the weights don't matter that much. It's more about learning how to arm wrestle, applying your strengths and choosing the right path to the victory. And for beginners, just get on a table and arm wrestle. fall in love with arm wrestling, then everything else will follow. And they spend so much time on all these special exercises. They will text me and like, oh, I never arm wrestled. I want to get into arm wrestling. Can I take you as a coach? And I was like, how about you find a club, go to club arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Few years in, we can talk. You have
We
to
can
learn how
talk.
to arm
Yeah.
wrestle. I can't teach you how to arm wrestle through video. Even when me and Giannis have done some videos and explained some stuff, it's very hard to transfer that. Actually
To the
transfer, like,
table. Yeah. To the
yes,
screen.
yeah. I had like I talked about this yesterday, and Luke Polsher, the head referee of
Hmm.
EVW. So I've been training him
Yeah.
for a few years, and we finally
Yeah. He
we
told me.
fought a few times, and then we got on the table together. I think at his home, and it's just like in 20 minutes, I kind of like blew his mind because I didn't feel him before. And I was like, listen, you do this great, but how about this? And then he goes to competition and he's a hook puller that always trying to get the hook. Like that doesn't matter what's happening on table. He just tries to get the hook. And I'm like, sometimes you don't need to take it. You can kind of go. And then he starts stop rolling people because he's not looking for the hook. Like if it comes, it comes, but he's not looking for that. He just goes sideways. And his longtime
Goes. Yeah.
Bob Brown is there looking at me like, what did you do? He's like, I've been trying to
What did
tell
you do to this guy?
you. Yeah. Because sometimes like you kind of get also certain patterns. You're like, you're a hook guy, so you're looking for this. You have to get this. And like it's sometimes you just don't need it. Like you don't need to sink in a really deep hook. You can't expose yourself.
Maybe somebody is giving it to you and they're expecting you to take it and trying to
Yeah.
yeah, build on top of that, expecting you to take the
Yeah.
hook. So how do you find those weak spots, like for in a person? How do you have to watch that person over a prolonged period of time, or can you genuinely within like maybe half an hour of gripping up with somebody, can you tell like where they're, I mean, for most people I think that would be very difficult. um but how's that for you? If you grip up with someone, do you usually can you quickly tell what their weaknesses are?
So most of the time, like most people feel the same to me. If you're
Okay.
stronger than me, you're gonna feel stronger than me. If you're weaker than me, then everyone kind of feels the same. Because most of the time, my strengths are so good at going where I want to go that it's gonna be very hard for you to do something. But I'm also very critical that I'm like, okay, this is the situation you're in. Like these are my strengths, and I cannot compare you with me. Like I can get this with most people. You trying to fight me there makes and me telling you how good you are there makes no sense. But
No
most of the
sense.
time,
Okay.
if you look at someone and how long you been pulling?
To come up 2 years now.
Okay, open up some videos of yourself pulling like when you kind of first understand how to arm wrestle.
Oh.
Look,
Oh yeah.
look at some of the movement
Yeah.
patterns. They don't change. They don't
Mm.
change. Like you have to have a conscious decision that you're going to change your technique. Otherwise, you're going to do the same thing. Everyone has the same thing coming for years. The only changes most of the time happen is injury. Injury will change you. But most of the time, the instincts, the movements and things, they don't change. And then
Hmm.
it comes down how well you build your, let's say, your arsenal to stop because everyone has holes. Every technique has holes. How good you can,
Hmm.
fill those holes up. That's pretty much it. I look at someone, I look at their technique. I just need, okay, this is year ago, this is it. So nothing really changed. How do you win? How do you lose? And then pretty much is like, okay, then we can figure out how you do versus this kind of puller. And it's classically top roll, hook, and presser, right? Like which one causes you most problems? Okay. And then you kind of can figure it out. Most techniques.
That's how you build your systems? Is that where you, so let's say do you get a client online as well? Sometimes clients online? Do you do
Yeah.
online coaching or only in, so
Yeah.
is that how you?
Not much anymore. Like Luke is one of those guys. Like I know he's a hook puller.
Mhm.
Like he's
Yeah.
like but he's kind of I would think different right now because he's very open and he used to supinate very deep and expose himself and he was just much stronger than most people. And then we kind of you don't need to do this. You can actually just go there and your hand is strong. And he's like, oh shit.
I
And
can.
then yeah. and then you kind of can figure it out. But most of the time, I can watch the video, I can see the technique, and it all comes down of first execution, how strong you are, and who you're pulling, right? Because it always matters who you pull. Uh, like me, for me, the nightmare has always been very good hook pullers. I deal with most top rollers very good because most of the club is top rollers. Giannis is a top roller, Raimonds Antonovic, Tooms, Vlad, all of them are top rollers. So I'm very used to dealing with top rollers. So when I fight them, I'm trying to get them supinated. This is what I'm trying to get. And when you pull a hook puller, I'm trying to get the supination, but he's giving it to me. So I'm trying to get something that is not there. So most of the time, if I don't know what is happening and they are really good hook puller, I put myself in a bad position because I'm trying to get something that's already given to me. So most of the time it is technique versus technique, and you kind of get better, you get better, you get better. I think like everyone, like longer you pull, less you lose. Like if you're not injured, like that's the most important. If you're not injured, you will always progress. That's how I felt 20, 30 years in, because you can always like, it's a skill. I do feel like it is an absolute skill.
So how much? Because you said the Armwrestling Academy, you created that together with Tide and Grip. But how much was their role in creating the structure? Because I've seen the overlay of everything, and it starts with how to not break your arm, which I found very funny because we always do that at the club as well. I think that shows that it's a good program. But how much did you structure the course and
It's
them?
just me. It's just me. The
Okay,
structuring, the course, the everything that goes in there is just me. They kind of they did the logistics parts, building the website
okay.
and setting up everything else. It's just that part is me. That part is me. Yeah.
And how, if you could summarize like how many of how you've built a lot of knowledge over the years, over these 2 decades. I think it's like coming up 2 decades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all funneled into there, or is it like a portion of beginner arm wrestling Ray, and not the expert arm wrestling Ray,
No,
or how would you?
it's the Ray that has seen things. It's the Ray that has experienced things. I always put myself into positions, how I learn, and then how I teach, and then what I see. Because we will have like through our gym, it's been hundreds of people that has come through that I have teach some technique stuff and other stuff. And I kind of know at this point, like how to do it more efficiently, how to do it faster, how to do it better. Uh, but it's most of the time like beginners, like just everyone gets distracted because it's social media and we live in this weird age where the cloud is everything, right? For some reason, if you
Yeah.
think you can lift a lot of weight on Devon's pronation lift, but still can't beat anyone in arm wrestling, it means something. For me, it doesn't. You know, like because guys will send me like, so my side pressure is and I'm like, side pressure in which exercise, in which specific moment, how, it all matters. Because I can tell you,
Yeah.
like my back pressure lift is like 55 kilos, and it could be 100 exercises. It could be 100 different exercises that you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about because it's not powerlifting, right?
Mm.
So I'm like, how you doing competition? Oh, I haven't competed at all. I'm like, well, let's talk later. Yeah,
Compete first, and then come back.
that's the problem. They
And
think what I'm really sorry that, but what they think is
no, no, okay.
they will achieve some kind of level lifting weights, and then they're gonna
Uh-huh.
get into arm wrestling and do it. And like, don't you think for all the beginners that watching this and still think I'm like bullshitting you, don't you think that Brian Shaw could outlift you all in any of those lifts, and he
Yeah.
would still not be where you think he should be because of those
Mm.
lifts, right? So it's arm wrestling is a skill. You learn to arm wrestle and you know how to arm wrestle, and that's how you beat most people. And but there's strong people everywhere, and there's people that I would say have little gifts in arm wrestling, and you can encounter them, and you will be like, "Wow, this guy's really strong from the go." Well, most of the time when you learn to arm wrestle, like, I don't know when the last time I lost. I think 10, maybe 15, no, not maybe 12 years. Last time I actually lost to someone that has never arm wrestled, or even more. I think, like, because it is a skill. You learn it,
Mm.
like, it doesn't matter like how big the guy is, or like, it really doesn't matter.
And it doesn't even face you any like it doesn't even scare you anymore.
Listen,
Like people like if
did you see the guy that challenged me? Did you see it?
what's his name?
Tani. He
Tani.
he has like another page called Arm Labs or something. So he contacted me and he's like, "Listen, I want to do this experiment. I'm gonna
Oh,
jump."
oh yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It now pops at me. He's gonna arm wrestle, and in a year he wants to beat you, right?
yeah.
That's the thing.
He
Yeah,
wants to have
yeah,
a match with
yeah.
me and just show if it's possible. The thing is, like, I talk with him. I'm like, if you want to do this, I think it's a great idea. I think you can show, in my opinion, not how easy the sport is, but how hard it is. I said, like, you
Exactly. Yeah.
because if one of the strongmen right now, if Haftor said like, Ray, in a year I'll train and I'll pull you, I would be a little worried. I would be like, well, my
Mm,
chances are still good, but if I can put him where I want, like, it's probably still I can win that match. Like, that's how I would
yeah.
think. And then there's a guy that never does done anything of that, and I'm like, dude, like, it's close to impossible. Like, it's close to impossible, but I like the challenge. I think it's going to be very interesting content. I think it's, if
Yeah,
he
I think it definitely will.
right, if he sticks with it.
If he sticks with it, indeed, I think it will hopefully put arm wrestling on the brawler map. It's already been growing quite rapidly, but yeah, yeah, it would it would be a crazy thumbnail, a clickbait video if Ray lost against somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Two
I said,
million
like,
views,
sure,
100 million views.
sure. I'll tag my girlfriend and then she'll probably beat him. I'm pretty sure Tita would beat him in a
You're
year.
pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure
Ah,
Tita
dang.
would beat him in a year.
Yeah. Okay. So he could do you for left-handed or right-handed, and then
He's
face
gonna
your
do.
girlfriend.
He said he will face Tina left hand, and if he loses to her, we won't even pull. And I said, sure, let's do that.
Oh.
And, Tina's left is like really good. Like, left is way better than right. And so
um.
I think the
So
idea is really good, but like, the problems you encounter in arm wrestling is, first, like, the pain catches up with you, the pain, and it hurts. And it kind of like, I remember when I started, it doesn't really get better. You kind of get a little
no.
bit over it, and then it just keep coming back, and you're like, what the hell
Oh
is
yeah.
this? I
When is
remember
this shit gonna stop?
my first training I did. So Giannis had his club. I think it was 2010, and for or 2010 or 9, and I went to his club to train. I think it was there 2 times, and I went to that gym, and one of my friends was training there, and we did like arm wrestling, and then we did like all the training and other stuff. I remember I was walking to home, and I couldn't hold groceries in my hand. Like, I just couldn't. It was from and I thought, like, this is insane. And I've been training till then, like, for 4 years.
Yeah. But so you arm wrestled, and after the first time you went to the club, you thought it was smart to just do a whole normal workout afterwards.
No, no, no. We did like arm
Or
wrestling specific workout, and then we arm wrestled
okay,
at the end, like something like this.
I
Like, the
see.
thing is, like, I don't think it was even that crazy things we did. It was just like my body wasn't prepared, because all I was
Prepare
doing
for it.
powerlifting stuff and just general training. So all the elbows, it was just like, I can't forget that pain. Like, it still haunts me. Like, it was like 15 years later, I still remember it. I was like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
You guys also have a shirt with it says on the shirt like it only hurt for the first 20 years, right?
First 10
On the
years.
website.
First
Oh,
10
the
years.
first 10 years.
Yeah, that's
Oh
Giannis
yeah,
thing.
I remember.
You know what happens after 10?
It slightly gets reduced.
No, you just get used to the pain.
You just get, yeah, you could just get used to it. Yeah, I also remember my first time arm wrestling was in Rotterdam because I'm based in the Netherlands, and there wasn't really anybody around, so I just looked online like where's a club, and then we started our own club in near Den Haag, near The Hague. But I went to their club for the first time, and I tried to be a bit cautious because I didn't want to be like the cocky guy who comes from general fitness to arm wrestling. So I knew there were probably a lot of smaller guys going to beat me that day, which happened. And I couldn't move my arms when I went out of the club. I was like, oh dang, I better hope this is gone away tomorrow, and it didn't. For 2 weeks, I couldn't train triceps. I couldn't bench press. I couldn't do nothing. And then I hoped I recovered. I went again, and the same thing happened. I'm like, gosh, I have to wait every single 2 weeks before I can get a training in, and then I started to, ease up on the training, not giving 100% because Petro Ketchuk, the Ukrainian arm wrestler, the massive guy, strong hand, he was at the club the second time I came down, and I thought it was smart to give my 100% against his hand. Well, that's the biggest mistake I made, and yeah, same result. Massive pain in the arms, but yeah, I think that sheds the newbies from the true arm wrestlers. You have a fine line. If they continue with it, accept the pain, or you have the other choice: quit and leave the sport. That's one of the
Arm
two.
wrestling is incredibly hard. That's why we don't have like success rate is very low in arm wrestling because it's painful. And I have seen a lot of what I would think is pretty good guys coming and like, oh, like there's something they just can't deal with it. They just can't deal with it. They can't deal with two things in arm wrestling you have to learn. It's the pain and it's the loss. When you start, you lose a lot. And when you get better, you lose less. And then when you're really good, you lose kind of very rarely. And then like at the
Hmm.
start, like the thing is like it's very good when the losses don't bother you, so you can really work. And then when you get pretty good, like even losing in a practice, you're like, mm. Like it's
Hmm.
something there. So it goes the opposite way. Oh, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, you know. All have egos, I guess.
um. Yeah. So, all right. So, because I do have a bit more questions, I was also wondering how much of the curriculum of the academy are you still using to this day? Like the training program. Do you use it yourself at all, or do you have a different type of program?
Well, I have my own training system that I use for myself, but it's mostly that's just for me, and it's very
Mm-hmm.
specialized for what I do and my style, and then building the things that I like. I always look at not what I'm doing really well, but I'm doing very bad, and then trying to build on
Mm,
those. Uh, that academy, it is for beginners. Like if you
yeah.
come to
Yeah.
my gym, you will see very similar exercises. The some of the training systems a little bit changes, but it's the same things just to build the foundation, to build a good foundation,
Foundation.
and then you can transfer it to the table, you know.
And do you see yourself ever building a experienced version of it? Like a more, because you said this is for beginners. Do you ever see yourself building a new?
That is the plan. We will probably expand it, maybe in a year. But then the thing is, like, I don't want it too complicated. Like the whole Armwrestling Academy, I tried my best to be as basic as I can because it's very easy to just get off the road when you start talking. Like I have a there where I talk about grips, right? And it's very easy to talk so much that the person watching it will be like, what the hell? Like I get nothing. Right. So
Yeah.
I trying to keep it. And then the next level would be like we a little bit complicate the stuff and we kind of give you some better tricks. I kind of have it written down already and I'm adding to things, but like some like what I would consider tricks. So okay, before then you didn't really think about this in a grip in a setup. You're gonna think in this in the setup. Okay, you know, and then things like that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
We'll see.
That's
Yeah.
that's actually an interesting thing to in the potential second part to mention, like in chapter blah blah blah. We talked about And there you might have probably not have thought about
Yeah.
this or that hand. That's I think that will be a great addition actually on top of that. And
Bring
then
some
it wouldn't get too complimentary.
add-on, little bit of
Yeah.
add-on, a little bit of extra, because I think
And
you can always improve in arm wrestling, always.
and did you pilot test it the first time for like newer arm wrestlers to before you released it? Like as in did you show it like the base of it to arm
No,
wrestlers
no, but I
just
tested, like, I
okay.
tested all my training programs are my training programs. So I will have,
Yeah,
like,
fair.
I'll be like, I'll send it to the gym guys. I'll be like, for next 2 months, this is the program you're gonna use. And it's one of the programs that we use there. And then I'll be like, okay, like, because I'm expecting to see those kind of results. These things will be soared. This will be where the growth will happen. Cool, we can move forward. And like, I do have a lot of experience. It is close to, since I started coaching, 15, 14 years. And then I
Mhm.
have worked with all different kind of level of athletes, and it's still to this day, it's fundamentals. But as soon as when you know exactly how you arm wrestle, because that's the biggest problem. Until you know exactly how you arm wrestle, you don't need to specify things too much. When you specify things too
Uh-huh.
much, you just kind of you're missing on the fundamental stuff that you could be building. Until you, like, I had this where I think for many years, where I go to the table at the a very beginning, and I had no idea what I'm gonna do. Like, I was just gonna react what the other guy is doing. Now I know, now I don't think what I'm gonna do. Like, my body knows exactly what I'm gonna do. So I think that is the distinction. As soon as you know that, you don't have to think about it. Everything becomes very easy. And then you can build on it. You can find correct exercises and whatever the thing that makes you progress in arm wrestling.
So for me right now, when I step to the table, usually I have a general idea what I want to do. I in tournaments I watch my opponents, I see what their specialty is, and I try to deduct, okay, where are my options against this person? Um, and for example, I often like to hook or press, but usually after like 2 rounds of pressing, that technique falls out because it's tired and my arm is tired. But sometimes when I go to the table and I want to do a certain thing, a certain technique, and I grip up and I just don't feel the connection there, I change my movement. Would you still see that as beginner like
Yes.
mistake? That
Yeah. You
you
just
still would?
the thing is, like, when you doubt yourself, you're never gonna do good. Like, you shouldn't think about it. Like, you should just know, like, your best move versus their best move. And then, like, let's say you're a top roller, right? You're gonna face another top roller. So either you're gonna beat them or they're gonna beat you. If they beat your hand, can you still fight without the hand? Okay. If you get this, but they can still fight without the hand, can you finish? Like, those are the questions that you need to answer. And then that's the homework. Like, after the competition, you can look at it and you're like, okay, like, this is where I did my mistake. I'm pulling a hook puller. He pulled me in a hook. I need a better defense for the hook. I can deal with everyone that is top rolling, but I can't deal with hook pullers. So that's my kryptonite.
That's your yeah.
But most of the time, because when the guys ask, like, what technique should I choose? And then they get really, most of the time, it's just so much, and everyone wants to be Devon Larratt. Everyone wants to do everything. Everyone wants to be John Bersang. And, like, me and Giannis, we trying to get to everyone's mind, like, build one technique that beats 99% of the guys, and then you can expand on it. But most of the time, your hooking and your top rolling ability, very rarely is going to be equal. If it's equal, none of them are really good, because they are opposite instincts. One is here and one is here. My top roll, I can top roll a lot of people, but I cannot top roll like Giannis does. Like, my instinct is not to go backwards. My instinct is to go forwards or to go sideways.
Mhm.
So I build my top roll with those instincts in mind. And that's what the guys are missing. They think they can do this and this. You can do it really good. You can sometimes surprise your opponent when you have multiple weapons and things like this. But first, you build one technique. Most guys, pick any arm wrestler, they will have the main technique and then they build on it. Like, Devon Larratt is a top roller. He used to hook. He's a top roller now. He can get you in a hook when you're tired. He will not go in a hook when you're not tired. Michael Todd he can press, but most of the time he needs to get you tired, then he can press you. Even Matyushenko, he just hooks. Giannis just top rolls. Mindaugas top rolls, even without the hand and for the press, he's still coming forward with the shoulder. He built that. He didn't have that, right? Daniel Prokopchuk pulls inside with like it's a kind of drag position, like a drag hook that he a lot of back pressure, and he built a top roll around it. So that's the thing that everyone's missing. They think like some guys are very well rounded. No, they just built the thing around it. Yevgeny Prudnik with left arm, he's a hook puller. With right arm, he's more top roller, but he can still hook if needed to. Like he will change things up if needed to. Morozov built a lot of things through his hook with the left arm, not with his right arm. Vitaly, you will not see Vitaly really hooking from the go or thinking about hooking. Lean into your default setting. Just lean into your default setting and build everything around it. The only thing is like understanding if your default setting is flawed. Like press, flop press. This is why we just have this many examples on the planet because it's very hard technique. It's very hard technique. Like for press, I think you don't really use any of the fundamentals. You give up all the fundamentals. You don't really hold close. You maybe something, but you can kind of, because of the positioning of the body, you protect your pronator. You don't really fight for your hands. So you give up all the things that everyone else is doing. Yeah. And it is dangerous because it's offensive move. So you have to hit hard. And if someone hits you out of position, you get injured. There's not a lot of guys that do that. That's the thing. Just because of this. But then there's guys that will survive, like Kamil, like Jerry, and there's few more that are really good at pressing, like that don't get injured, and they will. But it's the rate. This is why like everyone's like, I want to be a flop first presser. You can always flop in a match if you have this and you're very comfortable.
But not from the start.
Yeah, not from the start. Not from the start. We see flop is being utilized more, especially like in EVW matches. Before then, guys. And I think there's my rationale. This is I haven't confirmed it. We haven't checked the tape, but let's say me and you gonna pull in tournament, right? If we meet on the first round, you top roll me, you take my hand. So I can give up, lay down, and try to fight another day and try to get to the top again and maybe beat you or maybe get a better place. Or I can try to beat you without the hand, which will take everything from me. And I'm taking crazy damage. You're taking crazy damage. Let's say you win. I get nothing because most of the time I'm going to be done. I win, right? And then I go, next guy beats me. And I also fall out from the tournament. But if we're in a super match, we're taking equal damage. Even though I'm giving you a lot of this, you're taking also. So then a lot of guys were like, oh, I can actually do this in a real in a super match that I couldn't do in a tournament before. And it's a lot of those things, right? In tournaments, if I could, I just top roll guys because you just take less damage. You just go through the guys really quickly, right? If you hook, terrible. In a super match, if you try to top roll, someone hooks you, oh, you're dead. You're dead.
You're dead.
And with the
You're
hand,
done.
Dead. So I think it's a lot of those things. Arm wrestling really has changed. In Supermatch arm wrestling, it's not tournament style arm wrestling. The whole philosophy is different. The whole philosophy is different, and I see it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
No. And I also noticed that sometimes when you have a super match, you come out of the super match much more unsketched or unscathed, or how do you like less damaged than through a tournament, because sometimes you're the first guy in the tournament and somebody has to wait a couple of rounds, has a quick fast match, spins the guy, is completely fresh. He's feeling really fresh, and you had a massive war with a guy in a hook, and then you face that guy. So it's it's differently leveled. So would you also say that pinning somebody in a tournament, you can't really say, oh, I'm better than this arm wrestler in a tournament wise. You really need a super match to decide that, right?
Well, most of the
Or
time, I think like if you're consistently beating someone, like I beat you like in last 5 tournaments. Oh well, I'm way better,
y-
right?
yeah.
But there will be guys that are just really good at tournaments, not so great at the super matches. They're just it is just the thing, right? Uh, I still think like everyone's on equal footing at tournaments at the beginning, and everyone has their own choices. Like you can take the damage if you want to. You can, you're in a bad position. You choose to fight. That's on you,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
You choose to fight, and that's on you.
You have to live with the consequences. All right, moving on. I was also wondering, that even as a coach, how because you're a coach and a competitor, how do you still continue and to learn in this sport? Like, who are the people you look up to? Where do you get your new information from? Like, how do you? Yeah.
That's a good question. Very good question. I think like I'm very I'm in a good position where I meet all these high level athletes and I can pick their brain if I
Hmm.
need to. I kind of have them all on speed dial, and I'm friends with most of them. So I can just, we can talk about those things. They will ask my advice, I will ask their advice, and we could, because most of the time, like I will, like like I was in the gym hour ago. And like every time that I do something, Tina sees me and I'm there just like thinking about stuff. And most of the time I think about stuff and they might look good in my head, but I need to bring the idea to someone to challenge it. So if I can talk about some other stuff like why would you do this? Why would you do this? What do you think about this? And then you kind of get the new perspective. I think it's perspectives that matters. We all
Mm,
kind of doing the same thing, but it's just different POV. Uh, of course, I
yeah.
try to check out some new research on tendons, on muscle, and other stuff. I kind of get rid of not really focused on building muscle or muscle strength, more interested in building tendon strength and um, intramuscular coordination. Because I think that is the whole key of arm wrestling, how your muscles work in synergy. That there's guys that like whatever movement they do, they just do it perfectly. All the muscles work with each other, and that's perfect technique as it looks for us. So you get inspiration, you get some thoughts. Sometimes I'll look how someone pulls, and I'll be like, oh, like I just noticed something, and my mind was blown. I was in competition on Saturday, and right between the rounds, I was looking at some of the matches, and I was like I had like
Man.
epiphany about top roll, and I was like, oh damn, like because everyone executes things their own way, and you can just check it, and you see it, and you're like, oh. That's what I'm not doing. That's what he's doing, right? Because you will think
Mm,
like we can take a look and do this like you try to mimic same move, right? But execution can be differently. Like think about like this. Let's say like the wrist, like the cupping, right? The cupping could be just I'm closing my hand like this. My wrist goes down. It
mm,
also could be in my mind that I'm pulling everything inwards. Like it could be that I'm kind of pushing this there or I'm
mhm,
pulling it down. And those are not two of the same things. So everyone kind of uses it differently. Most of the time, arm wrestlers, it's very hard for them to explain what exactly they're doing. And that's when you get like like Mindaugas is a great example because he doesn't have sports physiology. He doesn't understand a lot of those things. He will explain how he feels those things, and then I'll be like you know what you mean, and then like I can explain on more physical level exactly what he's doing there, what he's thinking about. Because he was like, I'm all tendons. I'm like, no, it's not just tendons. Tendons don't do that much work. Your muscles
mm.
super connected with each other, and that's and there's
And that then it's just a yeah, then it's just a lack of words to put into perspective what you're feeling. And if you have the vocabulary for specific words and knowledge
I think
about that, right?
more understanding of the movement. Because like sometimes, like I said, we all kind of do the same thing, and everyone explains it differently, right? But there's like for pushing and like you know, let's say side pressure. There's multiple things that could mean, and it means different things to different people. Like same as back pressure, same as rising means different things to different. Pronation means different things to different people because different people achieve it differently through like
Mm.
in their mind. The connection is like, let's say one guy will, what he will do is like he will pronate with thinking that his thumb, he's doing rotation with his thumb. It's nothing else, it's just his thumb going down. The other guy actually pushes this part of his wrist up and achieves that. Another one uses cupping, pulling in to get this pronation done. So you see that's, it's very, very
Yeah.
different. And then you kind of have
They're
to
doing the
understand
same thing, but
same different.
intention is completely different.
Yes, yes.
The
And then
topper, yeah, all right, that's interesting
let's
indeed.
say application true, right? Like if I say like close your hand or pull your hand in, those are
Pull
not.
your hand down.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's what differs you from a coach, right? As a competitor and a coach, to be able to explain that well, what you're trying to say. Because if you say it the first way, I'm gonna, you say, yeah, close your hand, but you're actually meaning pull down your hand. I'm gonna do what I think, what I think
I
you're saying.
mean,
That's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, yeah. And
So
so
if
this
you can't convey it,
why
yeah,
when you kind of get beginners, they are clunky and robotic because they don't understand these
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and they understand very, you know, superficially, like this is what it means, this is like, this is pronation, so they trying to do this, they just trying to rotate their arm, they kind of forget about other stuff.
And then they give up the wrist and
Give
do
up
like
the wrist,
this, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It just,
But sometimes some people come across. I have a team member in my team. He's called Gijs. He's a 60-year-old kid, 16-year-old. And the first time he came down, I explained him the safety rules and how to top roll, and he did everything perfectly. He did the dragging, the side dragging, the wrist containment, and the pronation, and he just squatted down, and it was perfect. And sometimes that also happens. It's
yeah, yeah,
unique,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it does happen.
That's a diamond, right? I think it's a gift in arm wrestling, if you
Yeah.
really fastly understand what you do. And it like I encountered two types of people that are really good at catching up techniques, and one of them, like few of them, is they're really good at techniques and they're decently strong. So like they don't need that much strength. And then there's guys that are really good at techniques but they're weak. So for them, then it like, okay, because I have I have few guys that are like technically they are so good, they're just weak. They're just physically weak. So they need to build that strength more than anything else because they achieve that level of okay technicality really fast, but they need to build that strength. I'm gonna take notes too, just to make a point of this.